So are you going to go put some on?
I think, honestly, the reason I smell those is because I've been using the Dove body wash that's in the shower at the beach house. I don't have my Dial bar.
You're a barman.
Yeah, I'm a man. I'm not wearing Dove body wash and with lotion built into it.
All right, let's get into this guy.
Presented by Wave Sports and Entertainment and brought to you by our friends over at Fireball. Man, you guys bring this to everybody, and we want to bring Fireball to everywhere we go because it's so goddamn good. I say goddamn good, not goddamn good. We are your hosts. I'm Travis Kelce. This is my big brother, Jason Kelce, out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Northeast Ohio, shout out. New episodes come to you every single Wednesday. We're a little late this week because we're in Philly and we're getting ready for Beer Bowl. So sorry we're getting this to you a little late, but glad we got it to you. Subscribe on YouTube wherever you get your podcasts and follow the show on all social media platforms at New Heights Show with one S. Jason, tell them what we got coming up.
We got a great episode as always.
Damn it.
That's right.
Good.
We're going to get to everything you need to know that happened at Tight End U.
Ooh.
We're going to touch on, of course, our not dumb questions submitted by all of our 92%ers. And most importantly, we're going to get to our guest today, Mr. Alejandro Villanueva.
Woohoo.
Man, I don't know if Dos Equis is still doing those most interesting man in the world commercials, but if they are, we got the real one right here.
Yeah.
But first, before we get to our guests, we're going to get to Out of the House.
Get out of the house.
I don't know if you could guess what the Out of the House is, but it's Travis going to Nashville, Tennessee for Tight End U. Out of the House is brought to you by our friends at Pup-Peroni. It's great to leave the house, but when you return home, be your best friend's best friend and give them some Pup-Peroni, the original meat snack, treat, whatever they call it. It's delicious.
With a snort.
Oh, gosh. I crack myself up sometimes. Who'd you meet?
I met Dalton Kincaid.
Dalton.
Dalton Kincaid, rookie out of Utah.
Nice.
He's playing first round draft pick to the Buffalo Bills.
Is it tight end?
He's drawn some comparison to, maybe being that hybrid receiving, really good receiving tight end.
Do you have a lot of questions for you? Did he pay attention?
He didn't ask me one single question.
Didn't ask you anything?
No, guys had his wits about him. I'm not gonna lie.
Did he ask any questions?
He looked like he was just absorbing everything. As a
Not
rookie.
a big question guy?
Yeah, when I was a rookie, I wasn't asking a lot of questions. I was just trying to figure it out.
Who else did you
fuck
meet?
it up.
Were any quarterbacks there?
We had Josh Allen, Sam Darnold. Who else showed up? We had some good QBs.
Is it just a happenstance? that
Trey Lance.
You had three quarterbacks that also could have played tight end?
Yeah, literally all three of them, huh?
That would have been great tight ends.
Yeah, those dudes are great athletes. Man, it's a lot easier playing tight end than it is quarterback, guys. If it doesn't work out for you. It was cool. In terms of like meeting guys, I'm pretty familiar with the majority of the guys in the league playing tight end nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get to see Rob Gronkowski talk about some football, man. You want to talk about nuggets of gold, man.
What was the biggest thing he gave you that you took away from his?
It sounded like he was just the ultimate fucking teammate, man. He was just so willing to do whatever the team needed him to do at any moment and making sure that he was always ready.
Unselfish.
Very unselfish dude, man.
That sums up Rob Gronkowski if I've ever heard a word.
Yeah. It was awesome hearing him talk ball and just talk about how you need to be in the building and how accountable you need to be and the desire that you need to have to be that, especially when you got, great players around you. You got a chance to win, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it was awesome hearing him and talk through some plays on the screen.
Is he talking through run plays, routes?
Dude, he was talking through really what was Rob Gronkowski's like greatest plays highlight tape. So it was like some of his stuff, and it was just fun watching him.
All right, here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to stiff arm the shit out of this DB and throw him 5 yards up the field.
And there was a mentality he would talk
Works
about
every time.
having that. Yeah. No, he would use his size. Obviously, him talking through using his size and just tight ends being able to use their size and route running and things like that. And when you have the ball,
we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating stuff. I love to hear everything.
What did you teach the tight ends?
Dude, I found this out 3 years ago, really. I'm not a great teacher.
You're not a great teacher?
No, I'm not a great teacher. I think that I can teach, but when I watch myself on video teach, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
I think you're giving yourself a little bit of not the right amount of credit. I've heard from other tight ends on our team that have went. They said that you actually have some really pointed things about coverages and why you run routes and things.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, at least it registered for somebody.
They said.
It's difficult for me to be able to, articulate kind of how I like to look at the game and how I like to do it, because I've never sat there and tried to make it make sense. It just makes sense for me, right?
Yeah.
So to be able to I don't know, discuss that in front of a group and have everybody in the room understand it, and let alone have them understand it, but be able to take that with them. Take what I'm saying and be able to translate it into their game. Years past, I talked about a lot of, what we do in Kansas City and kind of what I'm the I don't want to say the
adjuster.
Yeah, I don't want to say the adjustments that I make, but the ability for me to
have the freedom.
go off script. Yeah, the freedom that I have in my offense. Guys don't have any freedom in their offense, let alone if you're trying to.
It works.
All right, now that's what I'm trying to tell them.
Did Andy give you that, or did you just kind of try it out?
No, he did not. I think Coach Reed.
I feel like that's the way it works. Like J.J. Watt, nobody has a license to backdoor tackles on the outside on zone plays.
Unless you're getting the tackle.
Once tackles for loss, I'm like, hey, why don't you keep doing that?
Yeah, no. I would say I did that more in practice than I did in games.
You definitely want to try it out in practice.
Yeah, you do not want to do this in games, dude.
Bold move, try it in the middle of the game.
Basically, I'm not afraid to get yelled at during practice, but I would tell them things that I did that kind of, make me a better player, and they didn't have that freedom in their offense to be able to do it. Or at least they were trying to make the team to where they didn't want to use the reps that they were getting to, I don't know, screw up or maybe do something unscripted.
Yeah.
So I tried to make this year a little bit more of like how to channel your own professionalism and just give kind of keys and notes of how I like to run certain routes versus certain coverages. Yeah. So I don't know. I try to make it more relatable for everybody in the building or everybody in that room instead of just kind of directing it towards the style of tight end that I am.
Yeah. All right. Well, are you and Darnell Washington friends now?
I did not see Darnell Washington up there. Was he
He's
there?
not up there?
I don't think he was up there.
Maybe he just didn't go to your seminar.
I didn't mean it. I didn't meet him. I don't think I met him.
Did you learn to block?
Yes. I finally figured it out. I got my towel drill. I got my
towel drill. What's towel drill?
It's the kiddos,
You grab the towel.
No. Towel's on the floor.
Towel's on the floor?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you going to do with the towel on the floor?
You got to, set your angles. It helps you with footwork and being able to, set your angle on a certain defender, whether you're running inside zone, outside zone. Basically.
Yeah. Oh, with a towel.
Yeah. Because you can do that anyway. You can do towel drills anyway. You can't, not everybody has a board at the house. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same premise.
I'm going to use that to my advantage this year.
I just don't need a towel either. Don't need a towel or a board.
Well, Jason, that's why you're the fucking number one center in the National Football League, because you don't need that kind of stuff. A guy like me, I'm not in the top 5 tight ends because I can't fucking block. Fuck!
Oh, my gosh. Do you have anything else to add from Tight End U before we end this segment?
Dude, it's so much fun. I just want to thank all the guys for coming out, man.
Is it fun because you're teaching Tight End U, or is it fun because it's in Nashville, Tennessee?
It's fun because everybody really does go out there with the intentions of gathering as much information as possible. Like how everybody, their attention, the questions, the ability to go out there, work out, sweat, really kind of get after their craft and try and get better. I think that's what makes tight end so much fun. And then on top of that, the parties are free at the end, and we raise a lot of money for a lot of good causes.
I got to admit, you got a trophy for Tight End U this year, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, and I was a little wasted when they.
Shouldn't they give out diplomas? What are they giving out? Trophies?
Yeah, so they gave out trophies. Everybody in the group voted on who was kind of like the number one tight end, or I forget what the actual trophy's name was, but basically, yeah.
So in your head, the trophy was just I'm the best tight end, but that's not what the actual trophy was.
I think that's what it was. I didn't get to take it with me. They said they're going to engrave my name on one and send it to me. So
nice.
Yeah. Again, I was a little drunk.
I think that about wraps up Tight End U. As you can see, a lot of riveting conversations and good tight end topics where they talk blocking, route running, catching balls, and of course,
drinking.
We're going to get to our guest now. Mr. Alejandro Villanueva.
Something way more exciting and interesting for Jason. Everybody give it up for Jason for ruining another segment.
All right, we're going to get back to the show in a second, but first we got to shout out our partner, Fireball.
Fireball, that cinnamon delight takes any game event, anywhere you go to the next level. Even church. Jason, are you a big Fireball guy?
Fireball's iconic cinnamon taste. Tastes fire and goes down easy, making it the ultimate crowd pleaser. That's why it's the number one shot in the country at church.
What I really like about the Fireball shooters is that you can put it right in your coat pocket and take it to church. Just crack it open, knock it back. Jason, please tell me you're a Fireball guy.
Huge. It's the number one shot in the country for a reason. Just crack it and enjoy it. You can purchase Fireball wherever you get your fine spirits.
And Bible.
We also need to shout out one of our sponsors. So you probably see us drinking all the time during the show, and that's Accelerator Active Energy Drink.
Shout out to Accelerator.
Yeah.
Gets the metabolism going.
Uh-huh.
And gives you the enhanced focus you need to record a podcast.
Boy, do I.
You got to check out Accelerator Active Energy.
Accelerator Active Energy is available nationwide at Target, Mayer, and Sheets.
Go get some of that shit and fuel yourself the right way.
Burst your star.
Mango your orange.
Lime your lemon your nade.
Berry lemon your nade.
Lime, what's the cherry lime made? Is that it?
Made your cherry lime.
Made lime made your cherry. Today, we are joined by a man that grew up in Spain, graduated from West Point Academy, served 3 tours in Afghanistan, was an Army Ranger, and it all earned him a Bronze Star. And if those life achievements weren't enough for one person in their lifetime, he then decided to play in the NFL for 8 seasons, making 2 Pro Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers as one of the best left tackles in the NFL. 92%ers! Yeah, it's a big one this week. 92%ers, please welcome Mr. Alejandro Villanueva. Is that good emphasis?
For being in Philly?
Yeah, it passes.
What else?
It wouldn't pass in Spain.
What else are you going to do in this life, dude?
He's a fruit farmer now.
I'm a food farmer, yeah.
Taking over the farming industry?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
But I don't think any of that. The resume sounds a lot better than what it actually is, for sure.
Oh, dude, that sounded pretty fucking sweet.
All righty, we're going to get to the new news. As always, we hit it with a new news. New news! We ask all of our guests to do their own new news. So we got to hear your new news.
My new news?
Chime.
My new news?
Yeah, you whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
The Wagner Group having a attempt of a coup.
Oh my God.
In
This is
Russia?
going in another direction I was not prepared for.
Is that new news?
It's
No,
definitely
it
new
is.
news.
I mean,
we're
that's
gonna
new
Our
news.
show-
to jump the segment off though. He's gonna say new news. I'm gonna say new news, and then you're gonna hit your chime of the saying new news.
We can go back to the Wagner Group, though.
Yeah, we.
Do you
I
want
would
me
be curious to.
Do you want me to say new news?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's
It's
essentially
pretty-
what he was getting into.
New news.
All right, back
New
to the
news.
back to the Wagner Group.
Yeah.
So, you're a farmer now.
I am a farmer.
You played 8 seasons in the NFL, served in the military, overseas, and now you farm fruit in Florida. How's that going? What do you have to tell us about the farming industry that you've learned so far?
I feel like it's a very broad question.
I mean, let's see how you answer it, and we'll see if I narrow it down.
Yeah.
I feel like the transition out of the NFL is extremely difficult. It's very similar to the transition out of the military, for example, where you have to find a new identity.
Yeah.
And I think that farming has always been in my family. I think that farming is something that I've always considered very noble and something that the United States has always considered a priority to make sure that we don't depend on other countries to feed our people. And so for me, farming has been a passion that I've always had. And in South Florida represents a very niche type market that offers tropical fruits that are not offered anywhere else in the United States. And so for me, it's been an incredible transition. And so I'm very excited about this new chapter of my life for sure.
What is the biggest perk of owning a fruit farm besides eating a lot of fruit?
I think that's the biggest farm. But I think that, as a football player, you're always in tune with fans and what the fans want. If you have a good game, you'll get certain feedback. If you have a bad game, you have different sort of feedback. But when you're creating a product that people consume, you're hearing a different type of feedback and you're appealing to a very specific type of consumer and you learn about the consumer markets. And so you get embedded for the first time into the economy not as a product, as in like we want to buy your jersey and we want to see you catch touchdowns and do the little Dougie, we want to. We want for the first time to consume what you're producing, and we want to evaluate you on the type of products that you're making out of your farm. And so obviously being in a subtropical area like Miami, Florida, and appealing to the community of Miami is extremely interesting because you can connect with your community and you can connect with a consumer market that is very interested in what you have to offer.
Damn. This guy, it sounds like you're pretty buttoned up already, dude.
No.
Sounds like you're about to kill it.
This episode's about to launch before the 4th of July. You told me before we agreed to do this or whatever, that you're going to Spain for the 4th of July. Do you always go overseas for the 4th of July? Like, is there...
Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, or however you want to frame it, I'm still on the NFL schedule. Taking July off as a month to relax. I guess now I can go in August. I guess I can go anytime I want.
Yeah.
But I've always found to be extremely rewarding to celebrate 4th of July in Europe.
Why is that?
Rub it in their face.
Yeah.
No, but I
That's an
actually
American answer right there.
I do. I've always celebrated I've always seen the celebration of 4th of July happen in my hometown of Rotor Naval Station, which is a joint base between the Spanish Navy and the American Navy, and they put on a big show, fireworks, all the things that they've historically done in the United States. And so for me, it's always awesome to not only be in my hometown in the hot months of July and August, which are extremely popular, but also be around the U.S. military, which is for me sort of like my first home. Out there. I feel very uncomfortable when I'm in the civilian environment. When I'm inside the confinements of a military installation, always feel extremely comfortable.
At home.
At home, always.
That's awesome, man.
How many places have you lived?
So Miami's the 18th city that I lived in. And so I lived in 18 cities for 6 months or longer throughout my life.
Dude, I admire that. I love traveling. I love playing in different places. I like just getting out of the house. This guy, he could stay in one city for the rest of his life.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Philly. That's all I got.
Right.
I'm in 3.
Yeah, well, I've got 3. I've been in the Midwest my whole life.
Right. I mean, I do feel like a lot of military kids will say, it's, for me, it's 24 or 30, they've just been moving around throughout their whole entire lives. I grew up in a military environment, and then when I became an adult, I served in the military. So I was always constantly moving from one place to the next. It almost seems that I can never stop moving to a different place. After 2 years, you almost feel like your body's saying like, okay, what's next? Where am I going next? But I think I settled in South Florida. South Florida's been incredible to me. It's been an amazing place, a lot of culture, a lot of people from different places. And so hopefully I can give my kids a little more stability that I did not have growing up.
I respect it.
All right. We got to get to...
Keep this thing moving, man. Yeah, as you've already noticed, this isn't an actual interview. We just sit down and we chat and talk it up and talk about some bold topics, man. See what you're up to. And Jason, why don't you start them off with some of your time with the Eagles, man?
My first love.
Yeah, I figured we start with your first stop.
Well, it wasn't my first stop. My first stop was actually Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I got invited to go to the...
But that was right after college, right?
That was actually during college.
Was it during college?
Yeah, so at the military academy, you graduate usually late May, and rookie mini camps happen a little before that. So I don't know how I got invited to go to a rookie mini camp with Cincinnati. Jermaine Gresham was the first round pick. Carlos Dunlap was the second round pick. Geno Atkins.
That was a good draft class.
Yeah, it was.
It's an incredible draft class. And I remember, it's kind of crazy because, as you both know, and you probably forgot about this, but your rookie mini camp and showing up to the airport and getting picked up by the team staff and get into your locker is such an incredible and surreal moment.
Take a picture of your locker with your name on it.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
So that was for me in Cincinnati,
Nice.
and I had my locker right next to Carlos Dunlap, and I was able to become, acquainted with such an incredible group of men, and that was my first experience. Then after my first deployment, I went to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Sean McKellen was the first round pick. Alshon Jeffries was the second round pick. And so for me, it was like as a tight end, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Both of these were tight end, right?
Both of these were tight end. I played wide receiver in college my last year.
Yeah.
So because I played wide tackle as well in college. So I played defensive end, tackle, and wide receiver. Tight end seemed to be the best combination of all three.
It sounds like you could do it all, and that's when you can do it all, they just put you at tight end.
They put you at tight end, right? But then my first actual opportunity to make it into an NFL roster was with Philadelphia, and I say it was my actual first chance because it was longer than a rookie minicamp, and so I was at camp with the Eagles, obviously where I met Jason.
Yeah,
and it was an incredible experience. I mean, I know that for you've probably seen so many players go through your entire life.
Way different.
No. But for me,
I promise you, because you were that first OTAs, you had just got there. You were 260 pounds when you first showed up?
just like
maybe.
Just like that,
And they said you were playing D-end. You were an Army Ranger. You served 3 tours in Afghanistan. So way different, right from the
Right from there.
You were still in the mode of running. What was it, like 6 miles every morning?
Yeah.
So you would be out there, and he would be out there in the morning running laps, like around the field, around the state, like all that. And we're like, what's going? Like this
Was
is way
that for
different
therapy,
conditioning.
or you were just
You're not gonna have to run that many miles playing
I
football.
mean, I feel like anybody who runs would understand this in terms of there's an addiction to the runner's high, to being able to run and being in that mode where you're just like in a subconscious state. But when I was with Philadelphia, I was still in the military. So Monday through Thursday, because Chip Kelly did not have OTAs on Fridays.
Yeah.
You guys ran, that was Chip Kelly's offense?
Yes.
Weren't you guys running like 200 plays a
For
day?
the offense, but the defense, they wanted big 3-4 D-end, D-tackle, those
Right.
words. Like,
Okay.
Space eaters.
There you go, baby.
Yeah, so Monday through Thursday, I would go to OTAs, and then Thursday after practice at 1 p.m., I would get in my car, and I would drive 95 south, all the way from Philly to Savannah, Georgia.
yeah.
Through the night, I would show up in the morning to formation. I would have a days of work on Friday, and then on Sunday, I would sign out on leave again, just so that my leave time that I have accumulated over the 5 years I was in the military would suffice to be able to complete OTAs and training camp and perhaps have a chance to make it into an NFL roster.
Man, that's nuts, dude.
But I do think that
That's crazy.
Chip
Could
Kelly-
you imagine doing that, Jason?
No.
This is... I've gone through training camp.
I've always been
I
terrible.
can't even breathe, let alone function mentally. And you're out here working 2 shifts.
I guess, how did you end up in Philadelphia? Was it Billy Davis? Was it Jerry Azanero? Was it Chip Kelly? Like, how did you end up in Philly?
Okay, so when I got done with my third deployment with the Rangers, I came to a realization that, I mean, I don't know if this is controversial to say, but I knew that we were not going to win or have a clear, decisive victory in Afghanistan.
Okay.
And so at that point, the Army was having what's called a BRAC movement. So they were reducing the size of the force. So each brigade in the Army, we have 9 divisions. So each division was downsizing from 4 brigades to 3 brigades. I know this is all going over your head, but what it means is that the Army was downsizing. And when you downsize, you're going to have an excess of officers. And so my time in the Army, I spent it all in the infantry, try to be as close to the action as possible. And when it was time for me to transition to my next career
Next phase, yeah.
phase, I had to wait 18 months to get command because I went to a light infantry unit. I had to go to a heavy infantry unit. So I had to go to Fort Hood. I had to be in a tank. And that obviously, as you can tell, panicked me a little bit.
Sheesh.
And
Tight.
I just got married, and so I didn't know if I wanted to give my kids the same experience that I had of always picking up and leaving, not having an identity, not having a home, not having any of that. And so, like most officers that I ever, out of West Point, for example, I think like 75% of officers leave after 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a pyramid. You know what I mean? The higher you get to the top, the less officers are going to be. So I decided to get out of the military, and I wanted to, one of the things that I found out about.
You just said, I'm going to join the NFL.
No, it's even crazier than that. So one thing that I realized about higher institutions like Harvard, Yale, Stanford, is that you're always competing with your classmates, whether you're at the academy, which you have a rank while you're at the academy,
Yeah.
or after the academy. You're always competing. You're always seeing like, how's Jason doing? How's Travis doing?
What was your highest rank?
My highest rank, so I think I was in the hundreds academically. I was mid of the pack physically, and I was almost dead last militarily, which is the 3 categories that they I was
Physically, academically, military. What's a militarily mean?
militarily means they grade you on how you did on your assignments on as a leader at the academy.
Yeah.
So you have during the summers your cadre, so you instruct the new cadets on how they should behave themselves, how to march, how to salute, how to do all the basic drills. And then during the academic year, you have a lot of assignments too. You could be the company commander for your company, so you're in charge of all the they divide the core cadets into regiments and into companies.
Yeah.
And so you're in charge of your classmates. You're in charge of the daily activities.
Yeah.
So I did not perform as good as I should have in those activities. Obviously, I was very focused on football.
You also could have just got caught with some absolute knuckleheads.
No, I mean, I do think that Army football is an incredible and very fascinating subculture of the academy. Imagine if you were a football player and you have your own, the values of the locker room in the NFL are very similar to the values in any NFL locker room. Imagine if Cincinnati, you're like, okay, now you're in charge of these cadets or these students from University of Cincinnati, and you have to mentor them and you have to advise them on, and then you have to be in charge of them. Based on how late he was today, I know for a fact that Travis would be, second, he would be
bad militarily.
Bad militarily, right?
I'm not gonna lie. You said academics. I'm gonna be at the bottom of the charts. That one too.
But academics was my strength.
Physicality though. That's my kind of job right there.
Physicality, you got to run long distance. You know?
I'm a long distance runner too.
Okay, so
I don't run
You're
6
better than I am
miles.
because you play basketball. Basketball, I feel like all the basketball players can.
Yeah, I was actually lucky that Dad made me be a athletic trainer the year that I was ineligible for football because the basketball team was forced to be on the cross country team if they weren't playing a spring sport, or at least go to cross country practice. And I was like, man, good thing Dad made me trainer Trav. I'm in here taping ankles and handing out water.
Nice, yeah.
So, do you think that the same structure and leadership styles and teaching styles that work in the military are the best ways to teach players and to take that to football?
That's an amazing question that I've asked myself many times because it's been always hilarious to see how NFL teams utilize the military and use a lot of lingo like, "We're going to war, boys." You're like, "You're not going to war. You guys are going to get here." You know,
It's a little different.
this is 100% pseudoscience.
Pseudoscience.
My understanding of what I always tell people, because for me it was interesting, very impactful, as a European coming to the United States and walking into a college football team and seeing how people scream during practice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they pitted each other during practice like one-on-ones. You know what I mean? Like, that you've been, that one-on-ones is like the, one-on-ones. And so
I love one-on-one.
when I did a little bit of pseudo research,
Running against a DB, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. Little guys running around.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's the best.
You ever
Excuse
do
me.
one-on-one pass blocking?
Yeah. With Justin Houston.
Is that
Tom
fun?
Ali, my rookie year.
That's a good time.
Yeah, it was a great time. Learned a lot about myself.
that was actually my first start against Tom Ali. It's crazy.
Yeah. You played with Jay Houston, man. That guy's freaking strong as anybody
Amazing
ever.
human being, though.
Oh, great dude.
I love
One of the
playing
best-
with him.
One of my favorite teammates. And I tell you, that dude, every single time he went up against me, he told me as he was running past me after he just sacked the quarterback again, just, "Hey, Kelce, you gonna need a few more cheeseburgers tomorrow." It's like, damn it. I had 10 yesterday. Fuck.
What I thought about football is that football was created out of the lack of war between men in between war periods.
Mm-hmm.
And so men, in order to feel themselves as worthier or whatever, they came out with this game of football, which includes a lot of the same concepts as the military.
Yeah.
And so football and the military have always been, they've used the same values, they've used the same structure. So it's extremely similar. Now, in reality, it's not the same at all.
Right.
But screaming during a drill, like, why are you screaming during a drill?
Because I'm bored.
No, but like, that's the same thing.
Adrenaline! Let's go.
Inducing stress into the player in order to.
It's not good. Stress is good, right?
Yeah, but
Anxiety is good.
But that's what they do. That's what they do during basic training.
Yeah.
So when I was going through drills and they were screaming like, "Go, go, 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 go," you're like, "Go, go, 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 go." That sounds a lot like I'm going through basic training. And so it was very.
Did you have a problem with that type of leadership in basic training?
I think the military is always ahead of society when it comes to everything. I think the military is always, because the military truly represents the country and the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And so the military, years and years ago, they realized that if you scream at a millennial, the millennials are going to look at you and say, "Bro, what's wrong with you? Why are you so angry?"
Yeah.
It's much better if you explain it to me rather than screaming at me. So the military transitioned before the NFL did.
Yeah.
In that aspect. And so when I went through training camp with the Eagles, and there
That's
was
interesting.
always have. I mean, if you look at in terms of social progress, the military has always been leading this.
They're usually ahead of the curve.
They use it because they have to recruit people from the American population. And so they have to understand what the American population wants and needs and how they operate. And they have to cater their training to them.
Yeah.
And so when I went through the NFL, I was like, why are you, Jerry has an arrow. Like, why are you screaming at me,
I was
Bob?
going to touch on him next.
Yeah.
You're a defensive end at 260. Like, do you think if we would have started you out as an offensive lineman, you would have tight end?
Tight end. You would have never heard of Travis Kelce.
Let's go, baby.
Don't be fist bumping. You're lucky. You're lucky.
No, I get it. I would have flanked my way into the
Nah, that's my excuse because I never got a chance to play. I did score a touchdown once, but I never. But I
did
never.
that stanky leg.
No, I just handed the
You
ball.
hit the gritty.
I hand the ball to the referee like
Class act. Class act.
Exactly. I actually did this hilarious. So I'm in the military. I want to get out. I want to find a way to pay for business school. That's my goal. And then I got two choices. I can either go to American Idol or I can try the NFL. I'm a horrible singer. And so I decide because of this blackout conversation that I had with my teammates in Savannah, Georgia, to say, dude, they got this thing called the regional combine. And the regional combine, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but it was a scam, basically. It was like opening up the ability to play in the NFL to anybody.
What's the scam, though?
The scam is the fact that you're not going to go to the play. So you pay $380.
Oh, so they make you pay to get in.
They make you pay. So it's crazy. I was so naive.
They make you pay.
They make you pay to run a 40 and to do the 5 shuttle drill and to do. So when I was in Georgia, I was like, yeah, I can play in the NFL, why not? And so I paid this admission fee and I went to a tryout in Flowery Branch, Atlanta, which is the Falcons facility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I ran a 40, 515.
It's an offensive lineman, right?
No, for a tight end. And then I ran a couple routes. I think I dropped 1 out of 3. And then I ran the 5'10", whatever. And then the staff at the regional combine were like, we're trying to make a story out of it. Can you long snap?
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah, I can long
I can
snap.
do whatever you
Yeah, I can
do it all.
But somehow it worked out, and I was able to go to the. Are you ready for it? Super regional combine, which was
How much is that one?
I think it was like $800. And it ended up paying off in the end.
Yeah.
But I had to fly to Detroit, and then I did the same exact workout, which is kind of like a regional, like a combine. The same
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about you have bartenders there that have been watching TV forever, going like, I can play, I can score a touchdown. You got PE teachers, you got random people just trying out for the NFL.
Yeah.
So I was one of those guys.
Yeah.
And when I tried out for doing the regional combine,
when you walked into that room, did you look around like, oh, I fucking got this?
no, I've never been. I mean, maybe in the back of my head I was going through the motions, but I knew that I knew that it was a scam. I knew that there was no way that they were going to have a 41-year-old bartender or PE teacher, play safety for the Arizona Cardinals. It's impossible. It's extremely competitive. And I had the experience of the mini camps to know that you have to be an incredible athlete.
Well, I think your resume kind of stood out a little bit more than the bartender. And
you know what? That's all they were looking for. They were looking for stories that they could promote in this regional company to encourage other players. So yeah, it felt a little bit like cryptocurrency type, hey, like, come on in, try out. You could be the next,
great.
You could be the next Travis Kelce. I was like,
$100 million.
Yeah. So I tried out for the Super Regional Combine, and it just happens to be a scout for the Eagles was there.
What do you remember who it was?
Completely forgot. I mean, don't put me in the spot right now.
The scammiest of them all, the Eagles were there.
No. But the fact that I was in the military attracted the Eagles enough.
The Eagles they search for stories all day. Dude,
it really was a story, And then so they invited me to do a workout during my block leave. So everything matched. I was able to hide everything from my chain of command. And then I went to Philadelphia, and they were like, okay, we're going to do a tight end workout. So I brought my tight end gloves. They did not do a tight end workout at all. I did a all offensive lineman workout with Stoutland, and he was like, "You're too light," And I was like, "Okay, well, that sucks." And then I did a D-line workout, and Jerry as an arrow said, "I'll take that motherfucker." He was like, "I'll take him, I'll coach him." And
Jerry,
Yeah, it was a great moment, I guess, in my intentions. But all I did when I was in the parking lot after doing the workout was Google the starting of defensive lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I was like, Fletcher Cox.
It's a pretty deep field.
Yeah, but
Do you remember who it was? So Benny
Trent
was
Stiller?
the nose guard still? Was Benny there? Was it
Benny Logan, Fletch,
Vinny Curry?
Vinny
maybe?
Curry, Brandon Graham,
Was Connor there?
Connor
Yeah.
Barwin.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind
And
of
then on
outside
top of
back,
that,
yeah.
once I signed this contract, which felt like, okay, I mean, maybe there's a chance here. Then they signed 2 defensive linemen in Taylor Hart
Yeah.
and Bo Allen.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I knew that for a fact I was not going to make it, but I was able to stay with the team throughout OTAs in training camp.
Yeah.
And for me was,
That's huge, man.
yeah,
That's
but,
huge.
but for me, I mean, coming to the United States has always been like a movie for me, and being able to be, being in an NFL team and realizing the personalities, the characters, the different places that people are from, it was unbelievable. I think I still remember all the players, that were in the Philadelphia Eagles. Evan Mathis was one of my favorite human beings that I've ever met. All the Jason Peters, going against these players was amazing. But I knew in the back of my head that I was not going to make the roster, and it was very unfortunate because when I accepted and I signed the contract to become a camp body, which is what I was, I knew that I was resigning on my military career that I put so much effort into. So I was an
The
XO.
moment you signed that,
The moment I signed that, the military initiated a process to separate me from the military. And that's when I started driving back and forth from Savannah to Philadelphia. And so it was kind of like unfortunate the fact that I couldn't say no to the opportunity to play in the NFL. But at the same time, I knew I was not going to make it in the NFL. I knew they were not going to say, Fletch, great job here, but, we got this new player here from Spain who is 3 seconds late off the ball every single time.
Yeah, you definitely were green. You had not played in a long time. You had never played that position, and we're
Right.
trying to figure that out. But you were also one of the first players, and probably the only player that I've seen cut. You were cut after the 3rd preseason game or 2nd?
Third preseason game.
3rd preseason
I
game.
was the first player to get cut.
Yeah.
But you told me about this.
So when you got cut, you were one of the first players I've ever seen where other players are like, what are we doing cutting that guy? He's a big, tall, athletic, strong dude. Like, he just started playing football 6 months ago. Why aren't we giving this guy a longer stint and seeing what he can do with like a full off season? And they tried to come back and sign you to practice squad, I believe, right?
Yes.
But you had already signed a deal with the Steelers, right?
I was in the Steelers office about to sign a practice squad deal, and then they call me from the Eagles saying like, "Hey, want?" And I was like, "Dude, like, I can't say no. I already drove to Pittsburgh." You know what I mean? Like, but it was literally just like that. I was like, I feel bad telling this man in front of me, I'm not going to sign with you. I'm going to go back to Philly. But for me, it was an incredibly emotional moment because leaving the military is extremely scary. You no longer have bros around you, which is, you take that for granted. To be able to wake up every morning and have even the person who sits next to you in the locker room, the person you eat breakfast with. I mean, I feel like that's one of the biggest problems with men, today. The fact that they don't have bros around you. And when you're in the NFL and you're within all these personalities, I meet your brother. Your brother, actually, by the way, was the person that told me that I was going to get cut.
I don't remember it like this, but he does.
The Eagles told him, Don, the security guy, is he still there?
Dom. Yeah.
Dom. He told him that I was going to get cut, and for him to tell me that I was going to get cut. And so after the 3rd preseason game, we played the Pittsburgh Steelers. We finished the game, and your brother was like, "Hey, what are you doing today? I'm not doing anything. I'm going back to the hotel." I was like, why don't we go out? And we went out to the bar. We got absolutely blitz. And in the middle
After
of
the 3rd preseason game, not a lot left for the starter.
Right. In the middle of like the I love you, man, you're the best, dude. He drops out the dude, like, they're gonna cut you tomorrow, tomorrow. I'm just giving you the warning right now, they're gonna cut you tomorrow. And I was like, oh man, like, you mean they're gonna keep Fletcher Cox? Like,
What are they thinking?
yeah, what are you thinking? Crazy? And so at that moment, this is crazy. This is like every Philadelphia person's dream. Kelce said, dude, let's go out tonight. and we're both wearing flip-flops, and we're both wearing the same outfit he's wearing right now. And we went out in Philly, and I got a chance to go out in Philly with Jason Kelce. That's an incredible. That's like That's amazing. Everybody knew who he was. We got into everywhere. I mean, for me to realize that Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love, through Jason Kelce, I mean, it's incredible. And so the next day I went to practice, which is kind of a dick move to let you finish practice.
Yeah, it is.
But I did recognize, and I want to give out sort of props to Chip Kelly in this. Chip Kelly had a philosophy that he was going to cut players a day before the rest of the NFL in order for those players to hit the portal one day before the rest. Mm-hmm. So you would have a chance to maybe catch on to another team. So the next day, I got the finger on the shoulder, go grab your playbook. The hard knocks sort of like, oh, wow, seems surreal. And it was like a moment where you're like, oh, wow, like it's happening to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm meeting with all the coaches. Jerry Azanero told me that I should join the Susquehanna semi-pro football team. And then it was hilarious how every other person that I talked to that day, and this is the only thing that I got away from that day, which is a pretty terrible day, especially for most players who end their dreams that day. They've been playing football since they were 3 years old and then you get cut. Every single person that I talked to was like, dude, Al, you did incredible. You did absolutely everything that we asked you for. Like, is there anything that we can do for you? This is, we feel terrible. Is there anything in the world that we can do for you? And I'm like,
that's how you know you're doing things the right way, man.
No, but seriously.
No, like, you give me a spot on the team.
There's one thing you can do for me.
I got it in the back of my head.
Yeah.
No, that's
So I got cut, and then the next day, it was like the stereotypical, like they give you Greg, who's the equipment guy, still the equipment guy. Yeah, I've still known their names. Yeah. So Greg gives you a black plastic bag, and you go to your locker, and then you pack up all your things. And then you walk out. It was like a summer night like this. It's raining, so you're walking in the rain to your car, and then the media's there taking pictures. Like, first person to get cut. We got a former Ranger, Villanueva. So you get in your car, and you're like, oh man, this sucks. And then I drove to my in-laws' house in Maryland, and I was like, wow, I'm out of the military and I'm out of the NFL. So I guess tomorrow I'm gonna go find a job. But they don't have internet, so I had to go to the public library to go apply for jobs in the public library, and I'm sitting there filling out my resume. I don't even know what a resume is. Yeah. And that's when, a couple of days later, that's when the Steelers called me and they were like, hey, we want to bring you in for a workout. And so, that was a very a huge blessing, I guess, in the whole story.
And did they work you out as an offensive lineman right away?
No.
What did they start you as?
So surprisingly, I got 2 quarterback hits and 3 tackles against the Steelers.
Go, baby.
Yeah. I did well. That's what I thought I was going to get cut. I thought Brandon Graham was going to get cut. You know what I mean? But they worked me out as a defensive lineman. Mm-hmm. Mike Mitchell, who's a legendary defensive line coach, I think he did finish the workout, and he saw that my potential as a defensive lineman was always going to be capped by the fact that I just cannot get off the snap at the same time. And Mike Munchak, who's a guru. Yeah, Monch. He's just a phenomenal human being. He worked me out. He did a couple of those combine tests of put your hands behind your back and do a
squat set.
Yeah. And so when he saw that, he was like, he said, I can use them. And then the next day, I came to practice, had a number in the locker, and that was it. I was in practice squad. I was reading cards and, go at it.
So were you still at 260 or where
No. Both Lane Johnson and I were just as insecure about our weight, and we were just stuffing ourselves every single meal, trying to gain as much weight as possible. And so I went into the Philadelphia Eagles at 265, 260, and then I left the Eagles at around 300. And then by the time my practice squad year was over, I was at 344.
Oh,
so
you're big. You got really big in Pittsburgh.
My issue was that I did not have the experience. And so I remember Chip Kelly made everybody do a heart rate variation, piss test, and weight every single day.
Now that's a scam.
Maybe not. I don't know. I was following orders, but I remember one day doing the weight behind Jason Peters, and I saw that he was 340.
Yeah.
And so I said to myself, Jason Peters was my inspiration. I remember one day we were doing one-on-ones against him, and he looked at me and he said, I'm going to put you in the trunk. And I said, because nobody wanted to go against him one-on-ones. And I was like, I'll go against him. I'll show him. I'll give him a move. And he looked at me and he said, I'm going to put you in the trunk. And I said, But I always thought, I looked up to Jason Peters so much. He was so talented. He was meant to play the tackle position. Matter of fact, my stance, my sets, everything was after Jason Peters.
Right.
And so I thought 340 was the weight that you had to achieve because you could overcome a lot of, technical deficiencies if you're just really big.
Come on into the big man.
Right, exactly. So I thought that if I weighed 340, then I would overcome a lot of my deficiencies in technique that I did not have because I did not play the position for very long. So I always try to gain weight, even though now looking back, it makes no sense. There's no need to be that heavy. You're gonna obviously get really tired really quick. But 340 was the weight that I had to achieve.
So you gained 90 pounds in what, 2 years?
In a year, yeah. So by the time it was, by the time,
Dude,
it wasn't a good night.
Did you feel sloppy? Did you feel?
We were talking about it earlier when we were at the bar. It's very difficult to recreate pain. It's very difficult to recreate. And everybody always looks at me and it's like, oh my God, you look amazing. Like, didn't you feel better? And I was like, I don't know. I cannot imagine what I was like when I was in 40. I do remember that to use the toilet, I would have to put my hand in between my legs and like lower myself because my knees hurted so much in the morning.
How many times did you break the seat doing that?
No, man, I broke absolutely everything. But 340 was, if you 6'9", I mean, another thing that I must say is not beneficial to be so tall playing tackle. Yeah. It really isn't. You
want to have long arms, but you don't necessarily want to be tall.
Exactly. I'm not made to be a tackle. I'm made to be a tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Multiple Super Bowls. That's what I use.
We could use you.
But I was, I was a little bit too tall, and so for me, I thought that talking about Andrew Whitworth. I saw the guys on my division list, and I saw, you know what, I gotta gain weight. I gotta gain weight. It was an obsession that I had when I was playing. It was always to make sure that I was as big as possible, to be able to absorb the number one and only move the 99.999% of edge rushers use, which is
bull rush.
The bull rush, exactly.
All right, we need to take a brief moment to shout out one of our sponsors for this episode. This episode is brought to you by Pup Peroni.
All right now.
That's right, the original beef-flavored dog treat made for your most valuable pup.
This sounds extremely delicious. And while your dog can't experience the thrill of competing in a beer bowl, you can inject that same excitement into their life by feeding them irresistible Pup Peroni treats.
Bring more to the table than just belly rubs and be your best friend's best friend all season long with the real meat taste of Pepperoni original beef flavor snacks.
That's tasty.
Yeah.
To learn more, go to pupperoni.com. That's PUPPERONI.com.
Woof. So you go to Pittsburgh, especially in the AFC North. That's a bull rushing.
It's a bull rush, yeah, for sure.
Or division. So you go to Pittsburgh, first year practice squad. Second year, Beecham gets hurt, right? That's how you initially got in the game.
Yeah. So first year practice squad. I mean, I would have to say that the practice squad year, now looking back, was the most amazing year that I spent in the NFL because I would get 2 tickets to the game. The Steelers don't allow the practice squad players on the sidelines.
So you'd have to sit in the stands?
So I would go sit in the stands, get absolutely housed, And I would sit like next to my brother and be like...
redshirt year in college.
Yeah.
Just throwing that yellow towel up in the air with
throwing the yellow towel.
Let's go team!
I remember sitting with my brother going like, I know the playbook. This is a pass. I never run the ball.
I've seen this one before.
They're going to pass it,
Here comes the reverse.
But it was awesome. It was awesome to go to the games in Pittsburgh, to feel the energy, to watch the game from the stands. 100%. It was incredible. Yeah. To tailgate and, to be able to go to the bars before and after and get to experience the city of Pittsburgh, which was the first city that I actually lived in, after the military. So the transit, becoming a veteran is a process. And I thought that there was no better city than Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh had the highest concentration of Vietnam veterans in the nation.
Really?
And so it was the deer hunter generation. It was either you go to the mills or you go to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And so Vietnam, for any infantryman, especially that was, born in 1988, was kind of like the reference or the most romanticized version of an infantryman. All the training that you do in the military was always based on Vietnam, doing a patrol base, river crossings, and I was like, I don't know, there's a lot of rivers in Afghanistan, but we'll go ahead and
pretty dry.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and do this river crossing, and whatnot. So it was an amazing year, and then I had a chance to go. I mean, honestly, what I thought made my career, my confidence to be able to play the tackle position is the fact that 3 days into my practice squad days, James Harrison decides to come out of retirement and join the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I got a chance to go against James Harrison every single day during practice. And James Harrison is an incredible human being, in his own ways, but he's a phenomenal football player. And he has and he's very smart,
Kent State.
Right. And so for me, it was really it was really interesting to learn how to observe an outside linebacker by going against James Harrison.
Yeah.
That to me was incredible. You know, if he knew that the slide was coming, and we're getting a little too technical, but if he knew,
hey, let's do it.
if
If you knew the slide was coming, meaning the guard has your inside.
exactly, what he would do is he would start inching to the inside, so you would not set out. You know,
Yeah.
he would start getting inside, thinking he was gonna do an inside move.
Yeah.
And so you were
getting
not
you to stop your feet.
getting you to stop your feet.
Yeah.
And then he would try to do the little
The rip, lean on you. And then
no, rip. Put the arm down, clamp it,
Yeah.
break your arm, and then spin around and pivot onto the
For
quarterback.
those of you that did not watch James Harrison with any type of technical standpoint, he had the most vicious dip and rip move for about a decade. I mean, he would get so low, he would lock this in, and he was so strong.
Super
Once it was locked in, there was nothing you could do.
Scream.
Because then he
Yeah.
would just lift you off the ground. Now you're.
Well, he actually wasn't as much of a bull rusher as you would think.
Yeah, he
You
didn't.
know?
He didn't really go down the middle of guys
No.
very often. He would do it
He
occasionally.
would
but
he would set you up for it.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started.
the dip and rip was his main.
That was his main move. That's when, like, we're playing Kansas City. He needs to get a sack to win the game. He's going to dip and rip, and
Yeah,
he's going to try
they
to get
called
to
the
the
flag that game. I know which one you're talking
Exactly.
about.
Yeah. I feel very privileged to go against a player who was also undrafted and also had a very unconventional way to get into the NFL.
It's incredible. Really.
He would never give you any compliments and everything, but he had his own ways of being able to coach you and guide you in the right direction. And so for me, I spent a whole year in practice squad going against him,
blocking him.
blocking him. And so once I felt that I could block him, and I will say it, if I'd have faced him in a game, I would have blocked him.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
I've told him to his face. This is not the first time.
Is that just because you knew what he was coming with?
Now, I guess what you had to do was hide your outside shoulder.
Just don't let him get that.
So don't get
Don't let him get that
So
clamp.
show him the square,
Yeah.
and then last minute turn your shoulder and hide it away from him.
Yeah.
And he would try to get it, you know what I mean? But he couldn't get it, so you will have to block him like this.
Yeah.
But again, obviously, I'm just talking smack right now. You know what I mean? We'll never know what happens. But he was a huge part of my development. And so Pittsburgh had an incredible offensive line: Marquise Pouncey, Marcus Gilbert, Ramon Foster, David DeCastro. They were
Great coach and
coaching Munch.
You
And
guys
so
were at the top of the league for a long time.
Yes.
I hate rankings. You know, don't PFF me right now.
We're not PFFing. We're just saying you're one of the better offensive lines in the league.
Press play. That's what I'm writing.
Travis is on
That's
record
what
as
I'm
saying
going
that
with.
the only
I
reason
know, but
PFF pays agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
Everybody knows that, Collinsworth.
right. But I think what I'm saying is the offensive line was very established, and they were very mature, and they had a culture of work that was established through incredible leaders. And because of that, I was able to identify some of the common themes in the military: work hard, and fortunately and unfortunately, my whole goal, obviously, we talked about business school. When I was in practice squad, all I was doing was applying to business schools.
Yeah.
Getting my GMAT. I had to get my GMAT done like 37 times to be able to get into Carnegie Mellon, which was, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And start my MBA. And so during the weekends, I was doing my homework. When Kelvin Beachum was getting ready. Yeah, when Kelvin.
They can't work one job. You got to work two. You're a two-job kind of guy.
But I never thought I was going to make it in the NFL. I never thought for once.
Even when you stop James Harrison in practice, you're like, nah.
Yeah, I was always like, because here's the reality about the NFL is that you get labeled as an undrafted guy.
Yeah.
It's not the same as being a drafted.
No, I
guy.
hear
Yeah,
you.
it's hard. You got to do above and beyond to break.
Yeah. And
Breakthrough.
Right. So I'm 26 by the time I start.
Like for you, if Kelvin Beachum never gets hurt, if you don't get that opportunity, maybe who knows, right?
No, but not only Kelvin Beachum gets hurt, Mike Adams went to Ohio State, also got hurt. So two guys in front of me get hurt,
Right.
in order for me to have a chance to play.
Yep.
I never. It was never in my plans to play in the NFL. I just wanted 1 year's salary, which back then was $480,000
Not right now.
Right.
to be able to pay for business school and then move on with my life. That was my only goal out of the NFL. I didn't want anything out of the NFL other than paying for business school. It just so happened that Pittsburgh had an amazing business school right there and there in Carnegie Mellon. And so that's all I cared about. On the weekends when Kelvin Beachum is studying the playbook and doing the tests and all of that, I was doing my homework and I was getting ready for Monday in class. But unfortunately, one day he gets hurt. He gets hurt and playing against the Cardinals, and it's like one of those like, hey, Al, come on, let's go. And then that's when oh my God,
Oh, this is happening.
I gotta go
This
in.
is happening. It's like when you get to the top of the
was Chandler
road.
Jones there?
It was Dwight Freeney
Ooh,
and Calais Campbell.
the human hurricane.
Bro.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
rough first start.
100%.
Did you get a nice inside spin?
100%. I got the spin. And I remember it's hilarious because when you go in there, you know,
Like, it's coming.
You're like, hey, I'm gonna hide this outside. You're, whoa!
I remember going into the field. It was Coach Tomlin, Munchak, Todd Haley go like, he's got an inside spin. You know, I was like, I got inside spin. I got it. And sure enough, first third down, inside spin. You know, fortunately, like every quarterback, you know, like every offensive lineman say, they balls out. You know,
Yeah, right.
Balls out, baby.
And so
that was getting out.
Yeah.
so that was my first
Heard that
start.
play call.
And then after that, I started the rest of the season. It was incredible because we made a good playoff run. And I thought that year we were going to win the Super Bowl had it not been for Peyton Manning giving himself up, standing up, and converting a third down, which I think later got changed. I think it's the Peyton Manning rule now.
There's a Peyton Manning rule?
I think if you give yourself up as a quarterback, you give yourself as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I think either James Harrison or somebody was about to sack him, or William Gay on a blitz was about to sack him.
Yes.
But Peyton Manning gave himself up. Like he went down to the ground.
Yeah.
So he was so he went down. All right, as long as he went down on the ground.
No, he went down as in like, please don't murder me.
Yeah.
And so the nickel backer just kind of like ran by him, and then he stood up.
Oh, so they didn't blow it dead.
They didn't blow it dead, and it was the fourth quarter. We're about to win the game.
So Kenny Picketed it. He did the
He did the fake slide?
Fake slide.
I don't know what
This
Kenny
guy,
Pickett did. Yeah.
Peyton's. Oh man, I didn't know that was the Peyton.
But that
Manning.
year was like,
Hey, heads up, play Peyton. Tell
Yeah.
you what, they didn't touch you.
but that year was incredible because my first year as a starter, I got a chance to play against DeMarcus Ware. I got a chance to play against incredible football players, and so, you know, it was a really cool process to be able to go from, you know, I'm trying to play in the NFL so I can pay for business school to like, now I got to hide the fact that I'm going to business school because I don't want anybody to think like, are you really paying as much attention to
you're
the
not
football
focused.
field? Yeah, you're not focused and whatnot.
You don't want to start a podcast or anything?
Right.
All right. Before we pass up Pittsburgh, you played for Mike Tomlin for 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
What was that like?
Mike Tomlin is a one of a kind. I think sometimes I get a little pissed off when I see him because I know that he can have a much bigger role in society than being a head coach. You know, he's got incredible leadership skills, incredible charisma, and
Mike Tomlin selling himself short.
no, 100% he's selling himself short. 100%, you know, that's for sure. But I think he sees people for, you know, where they're from.
Mm-hmm.
He was a college, he appreciates and he values when coaches have been to college, because not only have they been able to coach a player when they have no one else. You know, if you're a coach in the NFL, you say like, draft me another center. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Coach Tomlin was somebody who believed in coaching, and he believed in being a part of your success story. You know, and so for me, obviously, you know, I can attest to that.
Yeah.
But he's also incredibly interested in geography and where people are from within the United States. And so because of that, I was always extremely fascinated. You know, you could say that guy comes from Georgia. He played in the SEC. He achieved a lot of success. The transition to the NFL is going to be X, you know. And so that to me was incredibly fascinating. And, you know, I had an incredible relationship with him, helped me out tremendously. He wants to be part of your dream and the vision that you have for yourself. So for me was an amazing time to be able to spend time with somebody as remarkable and as fascinating as Coach Tomlin.
I mean, I've had a few conversations with him, and I know everybody speaks to the absolute world of him, man. So, Coach Tomlin, we're going to need you to run for president. So,
100%.
Jason, you want to touch on?
Yeah, let's get so. You know, football career obviously is an incredible part of your journey, but the beginning, I guess, of your football career was at Army, right? Is that the first time you played football?
No, so this is hilarious. I went to the most fascinating high school, I think. I mean, obviously, you both of you went to probably successful high school, Prom Kings, and all that stuff.
Come to Cleveland Heights, baby.
Right.
It's pretty fascinating.
5-5. It's the best record I had in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mine was.
We had a lot of talent.
Mine was 5.
Good kids, good kids.
I was a long snapper on that team. Keep going.
I went to high school in Belgium. So high school, I did a year in the Canary Islands, a year in Rotterdam Naval Station, and then my last 2 years I was in Belgium at a high school called SHAPE. It stands for Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe. And it was an American high school for all NATO kids. Mm-hmm. So all the kids that were in my class were from all the different NATO countries. So I would have a German kid next to sitting next to me. Is NATO going over his head right now?
You go NATO. I don't even want to do this.
It's got to be an acronym, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is an acronym. So my high school experience was incredible. And obviously it's what led to me deciding to come to the United States. Discovering football was also when I discovered Europe. So I got a chance to go to the Vatican. What?
Jason Kelce leaned back in his chair, holding a glass of water as usual. Travis Kelce was recounting a behind-the-scenes story about a recent practice session, his voice full of energy and his hands gesturing as if reenacting every play. "I swear I ran the right route," Travis said, half joking that it's just that the ball was a little off target. Jason smirked. "Yeah, of course. The ball's always wrong. It's never your fault." The whole crew laughed. Then a member of the production team raised a hand. "Travis, we have a special voicemail for you." Travis raised an eyebrow. "Who is it? Mom again?" Jason chuckled. "If it's Mom, it'll definitely be a complaint about you not calling." But when the technician pressed play, the room fell silent. A familiar voice came through the speakers. It was Taylor's voice. For a brief moment, everyone froze. Travis took only a couple of seconds to realize what was happening. He sat up straight, his eyes widening, then turned toward Jason. "What is this?" Jason laughed loudly. "Oh. This is interesting." Taylor's voice continued, soft but clear. "I know you're recording the podcast, so I won't keep you long, but I think it's time to tell the truth." Travis mumbled. "What truth?" Jason whispered. "Prepare yourself." The room grew quiet. Taylor continued. "You always tell everyone you're the earliest riser in the house, that you make the coffee, and that you're super organized." Jason began to laugh. "But the truth is," Taylor paused slightly, "you hit the snooze button 3 times every morning. And I'm the one who makes the coffee." The studio burst into laughter. Travis covered his face with one hand, shaking his head while laughing. "Unbelievable." But Taylor wasn't finished. "And about you saying you always fold your clothes neatly." He laughed. "I just wanted everyone to know that I folded them again afterward." Jason slammed his hand on the table. "I knew it." Then Taylor's voice softened. "But I also want to say something serious." The room instantly became quiet. "I'm so proud of you. I see how hard you work every single day. I see the way you talk about your family, your teammates, and the people you care about. That makes me prouder than anything else." Travis stopped laughing. He looked down at the table and took a deep breath. Taylor continued. "I know you don't like talking about your emotions on the podcast, but I want people to know you're an even better person in real life than what they see." Jason looked over at his younger brother, his expression softening when the message ended. The room stayed silent for a few seconds. Jason finally spoke. "So, she exposed you and then complimented you." Travis chuckled quietly, clearly emotional. "I didn't know about this." "Who arranged it?" A member of the production team smiled and raised a hand apologetically. Travis shook his head and leaned toward the microphone. "You really surprised me." He paused. "And, thank you." Jason looked at him. "That's a rare moment." The atmosphere had completely changed. The podcast is usually full of humor and jokes, but this moment felt different. Travis spoke more slowly. "I think we spend so much time talking about football and other silly things, but hearing her say that reminded me of what really matters." Jason nodded. "That's what marriage does to you." After filming ended, according to a close source, Travis called Taylor. "I can't believe you didn't tell me beforehand." He laughed. "I knew." Taylor replied, "I wanted to see your reaction." "You definitely saw it. Did you like it?" Travis was quiet for a moment. "I did." The podcast clip quickly went viral across social media. Many fans commented that they had never seen Travis so quiet on the show. "He's genuinely moved," many viewers wrote.